Yo, this is Amir Khan and leaveitinthering.com.
Hola, soy Saúl El Canelo Álvarez y estás en Leave the Ring Radio.
How you doing? You're with Abner Mares and you're right here with Leave It in the Ring Radio.
Listen up, thank you for everybody that's been pledging with us on Patreon. If you haven't pledged with us, go ahead and do so. You can pledge from $1 all the way up to $25, and we can keep you updated on the upcoming platforms that we're going to bring onto the Leave the Ring network. Let's get down to it. On the spotlight in boxing for this month or week, okay? So one of the things that's been kind of thrown out there and a lot of folks just keep talking about, and I don't know why. I don't understand why this is such a big subject. I guess because it's the fact that it's two superstars, one retired, the other one that's been climbing up on the ladder pretty quick, but in a completely different sport, which is MMA, or the organization UFC, okay? And I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't know a whole lot about the UFC. I don't know how to call it. I don't know what the moves are called, or the ground game and pound game and striking and all this other BS. I'm a boxing guy. Been a boxing guy for, since the day I was able to walk and talk, right? I still don't know how to talk, but fuck it. I'm a boxing guy. So this was like last week. And at least once or twice out of the week, I'll stop and have a beer at a local bar near my home when I get off of work. And this one place that I like to go to, it's like a dive little spot. And it's a real calm, blue collar place where you can go and have a smoke and a couple of drinks and socialize and bullshit about politics and sports. And everybody's pretty much fair game with it, So I'm sitting there and you get a lot, like I said, blue-collar guys, plumbers, carpenters, painters, mechanics, because the bar's literally across the street from the auto mall, where I work at, okay? I do a lot of car service out there. So I'm sitting there, and this is mechanic, and across from the mechanic, you got a couple that are talking about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. And I'm sitting in between these two arguing about their opinion of what would happen in this fight. Now, I've never talked about this fight on Leaving the Ring because I just didn't feel that it was a subject that needed to be touched on, especially when we have so many great things happening in the sport. The sport has really taken a facelift from what it has happened from 2016, right? So I don't feel there's any room for the McGregor and Floyd Mayweather talk. To me, it's just dead air. It's a whistle in the wind. So these two are going at it. And I'm sitting there and I'm biting my tongue because I already know that, these guys are not really fighting people, okay? The guy from the left from me, that's a mechanic, and you can tell that he's a UFC guy. And he's talking about certain tactics that McGregor could use in the ring, which is completely way off, man, okay? He's talking about the hand speed of McGregor, that Floyd Mayweather's never seen anybody with the hand speed of McGregor. And I'm just sitting there going like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, what are you talking about? And once that left hand lands on Floyd Mayweather's chin, he's never been touched by a puncher like that. He's never been touched to the body, that he's going to crumble, he's going to fold, and he's going to fall apart. Now, in my Gmail, I don't get any stupidity comments like that. What the questions that I get on the Gmail, Leaving the Ring Gmail, is could the fight happen, and how do you think it would play out? Now, I'm sitting there between these two at this bar, right? And I finally just couldn't no longer. My tongue, biting my tongue, like I said, it started bleeding. Not literally, but I figured after my second beer, if these fools have not stop talking about this McGregor and Floyd Mayweather fight, I got to intervene. I got to put this dude to a halt because the guy on the right to me, obviously, is not a fight guy. And he's a guy that's like, oh, yeah, I'm a fight fan, used to love to watch Mike Tyson. Okay, so you already know the extent of his knowledge stops in the early 90s. Okay, so I dove in. Yes, I did. But like every responsible fight fan out there, you have to interrupt the fools that think they know what they're talking about. And I had to correct this guy. And then, he tried to get smart and say, well, first off, it ain't going to happen because there's no title. How, what title they're going to give Floyd? Well, you don't need a title, especially when you're a superstar like Floyd. Okay, the WBC is going to give Floyd Mayweather whatever he wants. They'll make up a title for the guy, the money title. All right, and that's the thing. This is not a championship fight here, folks. Fight fans, we know this, but the people out there, casual fight fans, this is not a championship fight, fight here, okay? This is not because Conor McGregor is going to make a whole complete transition and becoming a world champion boxing participant, okay? He's just doing this for the money because he's not going to follow through, win or lose, against Floyd Mayweather, facing anybody else that's out there, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Triple G, any of the guys that we could think of right now. Even an Adrian Granados, if he decides to stay at 147, Adrian Broner, not going to happen. Manny Pacquiao, not going to happen. He's in it for the money. Just like Floyd. Floyd is in it for the money. These two are similar in terms of what they're after and what they're looking for. Money. So, could this fight happen? Look, of course it could happen. Anything could happen, especially when there's money involved. But like I've said before on Twitter, after Floyd Mayweather doing his interview with Jim Gray on Showtime, he basically was telling the casual fans out there, the uneducated fans, the fans that don't know anything about the fight game, hey, if you're willing to dish out your money for the pay-per-view views and for the ticket gate, hey, I'm willing to take it. It's like taking candy from a baby, right? Why wouldn't he do it? Conor McGregor, why is he doing it? He's doing it for legacy. He's doing it because he's done something already in history in UFC, which is obtained 2 titles and 2 weight divisions, I believe. Like I said, I'm not a big UFC guy, so I don't really know. I think I read that somewhere, okay? And I ain't gonna take the time to research it because this is not my cup of tea, or my type of IPA or wheat beer. But he's going for it because if he does what he has accomplished in the UFC and he's able to go, cross over to boxing, well, then he's implicated in the history of fight sports, combat sports, right? He's done something nobody's ever done. Roy Jones Jr. was going to do it one time, but there was a roadblock with Dana White. I can't remember the guy's name that he was talking about. I think it was Silva, right? Spider Silva. And Dana White was like, no way. No way I'm going to let that happen. Instead, they let James Toney go into the octagon, and we saw what happened. He looked like a baby seal getting choked out. Okay? So, yes, could this fight happen? Absolutely. The point is this, though, is why are boxing media people tagging along with this? Well, it's, the truth of the matter is because of clicks. They're looking for clicks on their website, right? And they got to generate traffic. So they're going to tackle any type of news or rumors of something that could possibly be involved in the sport of boxing, which is, you can't blame these guys. Now, should they be promoting it? Well, they're kind of their job. I'm not going to sit back and say, you guys shouldn't do this, because it is part of their job, is to promote or to attach themselves to, I guess, some sort of news. But then when you start sitting there, and I've seen this guy, Stephen A. Smith. I've heard this guy, Stephen A. Smith. Like I said, on the Gmail, I'm being sent clips of this guy talking about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. Now, he says Floyd would definitely outbox Conor McGregor. Now, you don't have to be a smart boxing fan to know that. You don't even have to tune into the smaller cards of boxing to know that Floyd would outbox Conor McGregor. But to go in and trying to make a case that this could be a competitive fight, now we know the agenda. We're stretching it. Because the truth is Conor McGregor, his hand speed don't mean diddly. Because he's never been in the ring. Let me point something else out, okay? And going back to this bar incident, which I was having this conversation with these two not fight fans. One UFC fan, the other guy casual fan. I said, all the questioning and all the predictions and whatnot could happen in this fight. The big question is this: why would the state commission, wherever it goes, wherever it lands, either it's going to be in Nevada or California, why would they allow this? Why would they allow Conor McGregor, a guy that's never stepped into the square ring, square circle, go after one of the top elite fighters of our generation? Shouldn't there be a certain concern? Because the fact is this: in UFC, if you get clipped with those 6-ounce gloves, and obviously you got to admit UFC has been a far much safer sport than boxing. The referee intervenes right away if he sees, the combatant get hurt, jumps in. They take very good care of their fighters in that aspect, right? Money department's completely different. But in boxing, you got 10-ounce to 12-ounce gloves. The punishment could be so much severe because you're able to land more punches. You're not going to break your hand as easily. And the referee's going to let it go a little further down the line or the stretch of the round and minutes. So you're capable of being damaged, that's something that Conor McGregor's never been a part of. Sparring and then actually getting in the ring and fighting on championship rounds is completely different, people. Even in the octagon, it's completely different than stepping in the ring. The octagon, like I said, you could be choked out, you could be kicked, you could be, you can get punched, but the ref is right there immediately going to jump in. And you got to remember the ounce of gloves in the octagon is far more smaller. So the guys, they're going to hurt their hands a lot quicker. So the punches are not going to come as hard on the second or third wave. Where in boxing, completely different. You're going to be, if you have never trained in those waters in boxing, and we've seen this, I've seen this. I've seen guys come off the streets into a boxing gym that practice mixed martial arts or believe that there's some KO artists because they've gotten a couple street fights and they've knocked out guys flat on their backs and they think, hey, I could do this. This is easy. And they step into the ring, they step into a gym, and they call out a kid that's been doing the sport, boxing, since he was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. Goes in there and gets a dose of reality. And that's in sparring. You imagine going in with a top-tier fighter, a top 10 fighter, and never had the experience of understanding how to pace yourself in boxing, understanding that if you don't have legs underneath you to get yourself out of danger, you're going to be in major danger. Even the guys that have been doing this for years, that have gotten themselves in danger because their legs give out, have got seriously hurt. So this is something that should be questioned to the commission if they're thinking about sanctioning this fight. But of course, people don't care about that. They want to see the biggest fights out there that would be available. But like I said on my Twitter handler, is a respectable boxing fan doesn't give a shit about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. So I hope I answered some folks' emails about my feelings and my thoughts about that supposedly potential big fight. If it happens, of course, the world's going to watch it. But is it something that I think that should be in the agenda of the Leaving the Ring Network podcast network? I doubt you're going to hear us a whole lot talk about it. Only on here on the Boxing Spotlight. Okay, so let's move on. I think we've done maybe 15 minutes of talk of that supposed boxing matchup that casual fans seem to think is going to be very competitive, right? Second topic here on the Boxing Spotlight here on Leaving the Ring Network. This is your boy Dave Duenas. Again, thank you for everybody that's pledged on the Patreon, that's helping out independent journalism, keeping us alive, allowing us to continue to be an unfiltered boxing network. I want to thank everybody that's pledged with us so far. We got other things in the work. We got other things that we want to produce out there in podcasting world and on YouTube. So just keep up with us. We've been pledging for what? I mean, we've been doing this Patreon thing for like 2 months. Okay, so enough of the advertisement here. Let's get into some boxing talk. Okay, Angel Garcia, the trainer and father of Danny Garcia. I'm getting a lot of emails about this. We had a segment on Leaving the Ring. Myself, my co-host Felipe Leon, and myself, we talked extensively about it. But now it's kind of rose again. Here at one of the media workouts for Danny Garcia, you had Angel surrounded by media, and was question asked, are you a racist? And this guy, this buffoon, goes into, oh, I'm from the hood and I can't be racist and I banged a few black chicks and I've done this and that. Well, wait a minute. First off, don't be stupid. Okay, if you're from the hood, I'm from the hood, homeboy. I was born in downtown San Jose, California. Okay, where in downtown you couldn't go in certain areas. You couldn't go past 16th Street or walk around there because it was Portugal town. Okay, you couldn't go to the south side, which was considered the soul side, because that's where all the brothers lived. You know, so you had your segregation area. So don't give me this bullshit that you're from the hood and that racism didn't exist because you're from the hood. That's just stupid. We all know that's just dumb. Okay, you know, there's segregation that's always existed, especially back when I was growing up, and it was even 3 times worse when my dad was around and my uncles were around. You know, especially in San Jose. So this guy putting some horse blinds on your eyes, trying to make you believe I can't be racist, but then goes into the rant of he is racist. If I'm going to be a racist, then I'm going to be a full racist. Well, you can't be a full racist, Angel, if you're already a racist. You just added on more of the shit that you've been holding in deep inside to the pit of your stomach of how fucking racist you are. Now you're bringing in other people that have no business to be in your conversations. The Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, whoever you want to talk about, you brought them in the conversation. Nobody even mentioned, nobody even asked you about. Nobody asked your opinion. So to sit there and go, I'm going to go full-fledged racist, which you can't do. You can't become a full-fledged, that's just stupid. I'm going to be a part-time debt removal guy, but now I'm going to be a full-fledged. Either you are or you're not. It just doesn't make any sense, but the thing that I think that really concerns me, man, is this. His son obviously is doing the fighting. He's the guy that should obviously get the limelight, the spotlight from boxing. And how quickly is this guy knocking down anything the momentum of Danny Garcia has been doing, okay? The fans have been already really crucial and critical of Danny Garcia because he's not the most typical liked young Puerto Rican kid out of Philly. Fans have been questioning this kid since his face has appeared on TV, since he's appeared, becoming a force to be reckoned at 140. Now he's at 147. The fans have pounded, saying that this guy's there's no legitimacy with this kid. When the knockout over Amir Khan should have got him that leap above him, because when he fought Kendall Holt, he boxed. It wasn't the most prettiest win. It wasn't the most exciting win, but he boxed. And he did something that most folks didn't think he could do with Kendall Holt, right? And he did it. Then he gets in with Amir Khan, and yes, he swings for the fences, which I think makes Danny Garcia exciting. He swings with that right. He swings that right hand like a guy that's barely learning how to swing a baseball bat. Let's be honest, right? And for a fact that he's probably going to get striked out 3 or 4 times when he gets on over that home plate. But then he's going to get that one perfect hit. And it's not going to go foul ball, and it's not going to go straight to the second guy catcher. It's going to go out the park. And I'm not a baseball fan guy. But I know that's why people watch baseball, is to see that heavy hitter hit that ball where it just skyrockets to the moon. And Danny has done that. He did it with Amir Khan. He did it with Eric Morales. He's done these certain moments where you think once he lands that big, wild right hand, it's going to create damage and it's going to put that person to sleep. And that's where it really has put him. Now, has Danny Does Danny have questionable wins over certain people? Absolutely. Mauricio Herrera, I believe the Maestro beat him. He beat Danny. But when he got in with Lucas Matisse, the Machine, everybody said Danny was scared. Danny wouldn't take this fight. He took the fight and he dismantled him. Lucas Matisse had never been the same again. He's making his comeback, but he had never been the same again. Getting with Victor Postol, we saw what happened. His eye got damaged. But let's just be honest. Danny's the one that started that. He got that wheel spinning for Lucas. Now the other thing was, is he going to fight Keith Thurman? He's going to fight the winner, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. And he's doing it. He took on a tune-up we weren't happy about. And we expressed ourselves. We weren't happy about it. But the business of boxing never leaves us happy. As a fight fan, we don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about the business of boxing. I don't care about it. I just want to hear what the best fights that are being made and when they're going to happen, and then give me a good show. Give me money worth. Right? Allow me to have my beer and have a nice buzz, and I get to watch the fight. Don't fuck up my buzz. That's basically what I don't want. I don't think anybody wants that, right? So here this kid is trying to implicate himself in the history books of boxing, and then he's got one moron of a father that's putting up a roadblock against the kid. I mean, if his dad's pissed off about what the media and fight fans are saying about his son, well, you're not making anything better. You're not making it better. You're not making it easier for your son to be liked. Because now people are going to tune in on March 4th to see Keith Thurman get that win over your son. And if your son gets the win, which it's a very strong possibility that Danny could land that right hand because Keith doesn't have the greatest defense, guess what? Angel, you're going to still have your random racism because you're going to now say you don't like us because we're Puerto Rican, or you don't like my son because he's Puerto Rican, or whatever the case, whatever bullshit that comes in your head. Or I don't know, maybe your son loses and you come out with your AK and all this ammunition that you've been talking about. So what are my thoughts about this guy? My thoughts is he's a kook. My thoughts is that he has no concern as a father for his son. Okay? This guy's been living through his son to the point that he's trying to redirect any accomplishments his son has done to him. And look at the way he says, he pounds his chest, said, I got him here. There's no credit to his son of what his son has done. I mean, the last time I remember, Danny was doing the punches and taking the punches. It's easy to give the instructions, and you hope that your pupil follows through, absorbs the instructions, and then goes out there and performs off those instructions. But you always have to give the vehicle the credit. Whereas Angel is a rambling fool. I mean, why not be humble and allow people to give you the credit? I've seen people give Angel Garcia credit. Go like, man, if it wasn't for you, your son wouldn't be in this position. We already, you know what I mean? That's been established. So why the racist rhetoric? Why the self-unconscious of they not being recognized as a good trainer? Only Angel Garcia can answer that. But I tell you this, as media or as fight fans, because the fight fans have more say of what they want answered by who they follow. Okay? So you see Angel Garcia, hey man, yell at the guy. Yell at the guy. Ask him what you feel. I get a lot of emails, and a lot of it really stems of what Angel Garcia has been doing and saying. And I'm saying is, if you're at the fight and you get a chance to run into the guy, let him know that you don't appreciate the racism. That, you're a fight fan. And this is a multicultural sport. This is why we watch the sport. Is there racism in the sport? Absolutely. It's been capitalized. It's been capitalized for hundreds of years. You know, I mean, from the Jews versus the Irish, from the Italians versus the Jews, from the Mexicans versus the Puerto Ricans, from the Filipinos versus the Mexicans, to the Americans versus the UK. You don't think there's a little bit of racism in there that people have tagged onto and made money off? Of course. But when it goes further from that promotional push into demonizing a group of people, man, now we're crossing the line. Now we've left that realm of self-promoting. It's no longer self-promoting. It's now really showing what you've been holding deep, deep back inside of your heart. And Angel Garcia is a dark soul, a sad soul, a sick soul, has no place in boxing, shouldn't be around boxing. Not because of the fact he's a freaking racist, but because of the fact he's hurting his son's legacy. He's hurting his son's potential, okay? He's ruining that because now people are more focused about what the hell's coming out of Angel Garcia's mouth than rather how Danny Garcia is performing in the ring, which I'm looking forward to on March 4th. Anyways, this was Boxing Spotlight for the week here with your host, Dave Buenas. Don't forget every Monday, the next round. Don't forget Wednesdays, Leave It in the Ring. Don't forget every Thursday, the 2-minute round. And don't forget Patreon. Go pledge with us, man. Let's talk some boxing. I look forward to talking to everybody else. I look forward to the Leave It in the Ring Gmail questions or, like I said, critics and what you don't like about us, etc., etc. I enjoy it all. Thank you, folks.